Oracle software on a piece of hardware and having you have a DBA managing the Oracle database. So we set out to really eliminate the task to do any types of operational database administration, right? And we have largely achieved that. When you talk to our autonomous database customers, we really focused on being able to make this fully autonomous such that we don't have any administration required. But we have a couple other areas that are really differentiating from the autonomous database, right? And some of these are just really coming into focus right now. We've had this service out less than 2 years. So we probably spent 8 or 9 months kind of getting initial going, and we had 1 year where we've been really sort of scaling up the number of users on the service. And what we've seen, the benefits of the users that we're delivering is, we delivered on what we said we would, right? That we're not going to need a DBA to run this database. But also we have a very different model of elasticity for a database. I'm going to go through some details there. And then finally, it's not just that you don't need a DBA, but that we are providing really a better service levels, faster response time to issues, all these things that are far above and beyond what even really good IT teams can provide. And we have some data, and I'm going to go through that. And everything that we built with Autonomous Database, it's just built on the Oracle Database Engine, right? So the thing that we started with was, we started with what we believe is by far the industry's best core database engine. And now we're building out a cloud service that matches that technology. And we think that we have a lot of big benefits. Everything that Jenny will say later this afternoon are all features of Autonomous Database, right? We still have thousands of engineers doing core database development. And so we're getting all of those capabilities into Autonomous Database. So let's talk about the first one. Those of you who've been to Open World anytime in the past 2 years, 2 or 3 years, you've heard Larry Ellison talk about Autonomous Database. I'm not going to go over the basics of Autonomous Database. Everyone should have heard it. At this point, where we are is we're really seeing large customers implementing Autonomous Database. A communications company in Brazil, Sky Brazil, has a pretty large autonomous data warehouse. And what they've seen is 90% reduction in time to market. This is the type of benefits that we expect from Autonomous Database. 60% less cost savings, right? 90% of their IT time is spent doing things other than patching and upgrading and monitoring, right? They're spending more time doing things like data monitoring. And that's the transformation that we want to have for database administrators. So really talk about the database administrators need to move from worrying about installing software, taking backups, doing patching, which are tasks that a DBA is doing. A DBA does this for a telecommunications company. A DBA could go to a bank and do the exact same thing. It's adding no value to a given company's business to have a DBA doing those things. Those are what we're automating. And these DBAs should really become more data people. They should be looking at data modeling. They should be looking at applying the user security and data security policies to their data. They should be looking at adding new data to their system. They should be focused on the type of activities that add value on top of their system. Another example customer, Aegea, based in Argentina. They did a migration from Teradata, right, and saw a 50% reduction in cost from Teradata. So we are starting to see more migrations. We have some Redshift migrations. We believe that, I think one of the challenges that AWS has and is going to increasingly have as more customers start to look at Oracle Cloud is the database itself for Redshift or Aurora, they're just based upon open source systems. They don't have as sophisticated a database. So we see people migrating from Teradata on-prem, but we see some customers migrating from Redshift as well, just because they don't get the performance and concurrency that they want. Okay, so that was just very quickly. I didn't want to review too much about what we've talked about before for autonomous database. I did want to talk a little bit more in detail about elasticity and how elasticity works within an autonomous database. Our goal is, the goal of the cloud is that all services should be elastic. And the benefit of elasticity is you're paying for what you use. So the first thing that we have with autonomous database is, when you create an autonomous database, you specify exactly how many CPUs you want. If you need 17 CPUs for your workload, then you just say, I want 17 CPUs, and that's what you're paying for. Which sounds simple, but that's actually quite different than a Redshift or a Snowflake, where you need to say, I'm buying 4 nodes of a 4 CPU system, right? Where they have fixed server sizes, and then you have to choose. You can step up, and then you can go 4 nodes, and then you can expand your cluster to 6 nodes. You don't have a way to say, I want exactly this many CPUs. So we don't have any constraints on, what size and how to customize the size. And then we automatically scale as your workload changes. The way autonomous database works is you essentially saying, I'm going to purchase a base number of CPUs. I believe I need 17 CPUs. And then if my workload starts exceeding 17 CPUs, we're going to give you extra headroom in real time, instantaneously. New users come on, they start running more workload, and we're going to give you the extra CPU capacity. And we will charge you for exactly what you use above your baseline number. We do have this bounded, right? So we don't sort of let people go up to sort of unbounded costs. So we'll say if you create a database of 12 CPUs, you can just scale up to 36 CPUs anytime you want. And the customer, Andy Mendelson talked about a customer this morning that had a reasonably large system where they turned on auto scaling and they saved money. The way that they turned on auto scaling, they saved money, is they had I forget exactly the number, they had a 16 CPU system without auto scaling. When we introduced this feature last year, they did their testing and they said, oh, let's switch it down to 8 CPUs. And so now they're paying for 8 CPUs, but